Hey, just here to pay my respects. No accoutrement. Well, at least not until the end. First, let me start with Terry Funk. There's a lot I could say on this guy because this guy not only was my generation, he was the generation before me and even the generation after me. He spanned at least 5 decades, starting in the late 60s and into the 70s. He was a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, defeating the late, great Jack Briscoe for that title. And he would hold it for 1 year until he lost it to also another legendary great that is no longer with us, Harley Race. He is best remembered for his legendary feud with the Nature Boy Ric Flair for that same championship in the late 80s, culminating in a memorable I Quit match in November 1989 at Clash of the Champions, the New York Knockout. He would later go on to fame in the deathmatch circuit in Japan and his legendary run in ECW, winning the ECW World Heavyweight Championship from Raven, ending his long running reign as that title holder, and would lose it in a legendary barbed wire match against the crazy Sabu. A match so violent that even Paul Heyman would never sanction another one after that. Terry Funk also is credited with helping to create the King of Road style in All Japan Pro Wrestling, a style that is still used today, that he helped popularize along with his brother, Dory Funk Jr., also a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and I can say as of this recording, is still with us. That style is seen today most prominently with men like Walter, now known as Gunther, the Intercontinental Champion, and of course Ilya Dragunov on NXT. As for Bray Wyatt, he comes from a wrestling dynasty himself, the grandson of the late Blackjack Mulligan, the son of IRS Mike Rotunda, the older brother of Bo Dallas, and the nephew of Four Horsemen great Barry Windham. Wyndham Rotunda, aka Bray Wyatt, started out as Husky Harris, but morphed into Bray Wyatt, taking the gimmick of the legendary Dan Spivey from the 90s called Waylon Mercy, and incorporating elements of such characters like Mick Foley's Mankind and Jake the Snake Roberts. I personally became a fan of Bray Wyatt the night he took on Daniel Bryan and defeated him clean despite being a villain. And what was most poignant is when he told his Wyatt family members who were willing to interfere in the match to go to the back after the referee ordered him to the back. He said, no. Do what he says. I don't need you to fight my battles. And that made me so happy because I was so happy to see a villain who actually had some guts. After years and years of chicken crap heels, we finally had a villain who had some integrity. So both these men created a lot of memories for me. I should also mention, going back to Terry Funk, he had a legendary feud in Memphis with Jerry the King Lawler, in which he had another legendary I Quit match with Lawler that was in an empty arena. As for Bray Wyatt, he would go on to create his most legendary character, The Fiend, in which he would win the Universal Championship on 2 occasions. He was also WWE World Heavyweight Champion on 1 occasion as Bray Wyatt. Both of these men carved out a lot of memories for a lot of people. Tragically, they both lost their lives in different ways. Terry Funk lost his life at age 79 after battling a long illness, while Bray Wyatt, at only 36 years old, lost his life to a heart condition. After suffering COVID earlier in the year, may both men rest in peace.